Hey everybody, John from Movie Burners here, back with another movie review. Today I'm going to be delving back a little bit further than I normally do, all the way back to 1999 with the Milos Forman directed Man on the Moon. This film is nearly 20 years old. That is terrifying. Where has the time went? Lord knows. This was a film which was of course back in the spotlight momentarily about a month or so ago, following the release of the behind the scenes documentary Jim and Andy. Now I'm a massive fan of Mr. Jim Carrey, and I've watched this film numerous times before, and I will watch it numerous times again in the future, I have no doubt about it. It's a biopic, and a damn good biopic. It follows the eventful life of the eccentric performer Andy Kaufman. This was a man who was perhaps the closest living embodiment of Marmite I think humanity has ever had, which for anyone that hasn't been acquainted with the stuff is a beef extract paste that you either love or hate. Now I love the stuff personally, which is fitting because I also happen to enjoy the very unique blend of often cruel humour, art and entertainment that Mr. Kaufman championed throughout his life. Now, taking the helm of portraying that very man is the aforementioned magnificent Jim Carrey. Kaufman was a real hero of Carrey's, a fact that's instantly palpable from the first scene onwards. He went deep into this character, going fully method and refusing to leave the character during the entirety of the production. This didn't go at all smoothly. As I said, the real man was eccentric, and he was often abrasive at the best of times, and it was that very fact that really stopped the behind the scenes footage from being released for nigh on 20 years. The film itself does an excellent job of charting out his career from the painfully awkward moments of his stand-up beginnings under the guise of vodka in small, grubby, smoke-filled clubs, through arguably his most popular time in the hit show Taxi, right through the upper echelons and subsequent troughs of his checkered career. We've got the famous or infamous breakthrough act that was the Mighty Mouse appearance on Saturday Night Live, and also the crazed period in the mid-70s where he was going on a wrestling tour fighting women. And listen, don't think for a moment that Man on the Moon is a gush fest either, because it really isn't. It doesn't hold back or try to portray him as anything other than the deeply troubled genius of a performer that he was. It happily displays all his flaws and stubborn insistence on being something of a pioneer at the time, even if it meant pushing the boundaries of art to breaking point. For instance, the creation of the obnoxious and very divisive figure that was Tony Clifton, a sort of schizophrenic act that's still going to this day, and his reciting of The Great Gatsby too, complete with posh English accent to an unimpressed and ever-dwindling audience, and even the prolonged wrestling tour that I mentioned, during which he wrestled dozens upon dozens of angry women who he ripped into at will, and also the ensuing kayfabe beef with Jerry the King Lawler. If you're not aware of what kayfabe is, that's a term for a sort of a scripted storyline in wrestling. Likewise, it also explores his personal life, with the oddly platonic but also romantic relationship with Lynn Margulies, who he met during the wrestling tour, and also his strong beliefs in transcendental meditation, showing his interaction with Indian gurus on several occasions, and one such interaction even hints at one of the latter being the inspiration behind the Mighty Mouse act, and the vitally important awkward silence which surrounded it and made it so effective. It also touches upon the tragic circumstances of his death and the odd conspiracy theories that surround it. Many to this day incidentally still believe he faked it and he's still alive. Carrey is on tremendous form in this one. His performance, the looks, the mannerisms are all eerily bang on. He's received plenty of flack from certain circles about overacting and hamming it up, an opinion which I have to say I completely disagree with. You just have to check the comparison videos on YouTube to see how close he got, and he clearly has the passive Kaufman down. It's perhaps possible that he was asked to dial up during certain scenes, I don't know, but overall he did an incredible job for me portraying a oddly unique and complex man. Other noteworthy performances would probably be Danny DeVito as George Shapiro and Paul Giamatti as Bob Shmurda. DeVito actually worked with and knew the real Kaufman from his time on Taxi, and was enjoyable as the agent and manager in the film. Interestingly enough, they actually got all the original members of that show to return for this film, including a certain Mr. Christopher Lloyd. Ultimately though, this film is going to elicit the same response as the man it's portraying. I feel like it will split viewers down the middle. You'll either love it and enjoy the intense journey it takes into the life of Kaufman, or maybe you'll hate it, find it hard to get on board with the humour of that, and consequently find the entire thing an uninteresting warfest. That's certainly the split reaction it garnered in my household. One thing can't be denied though, and that's that it's beautifully directed, has a great story, features an Oscar-worthy performance from Jim Carrey, and has a fantastic R.E.M. heavy inspired soundtrack. That's certainly good enough for me. It won't be for everyone. Now, I'd normally give a recommendation, and I'd be quite black or white in my recommendation, either saying yes or no to the film, but for this one I would take a slightly different direction, and I would maybe suggest that if, for whatever reason, you have missed this film in the 20 odd years since it released, and are maybe interested in giving it a watch, that you probably watch the first 20 to 30 minutes or so. That will certainly give you a feel for the tone of the film and the character, and you can take it from there, one way or the other. In terms of rating, I absolutely love this film. It's one of my favourite Jim Carrey films and performances, and I'll be giving it a 4 out of 5. Remember guys, if you're enjoying the content we're putting out, then be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube and iTunes, and give us a little follow on Facebook at Movie Burner Entertainment, and on Twitter at Movie Burners. You can also catch up with all the latest reviews we're putting out at the Movie Burner blog on movieburnerentertainment.org. Until the next time, goodbye.